All right, SmashCastBros podcast. We had some music given to us from CJY Music. He was gracious enough to let us steal it, have it, whatever you want to call it. We'd like to send out a thank you to him. And yeah, thank you, CJ. We appreciate it. We're going to use it. We're going to cut it up and use the bits and pieces from that song. What's it called?
R&R State of Mind.
Yeah.
He is CJY on Spotify.
And Amazon Music.
He's on Amazon?
Amazon Store. You can buy his music. You can buy it from either one. Amazon Music, Amazon Store, Spotify, all the above.
I like his music. I think he's done really well with it. He's kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit.
With playing while he's having a kid.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, CJ.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we are the SmashCast Bros. We're sitting here in the middle of Michigan. I am Ty, and
I'm
that
Moo.
is.
I am Trigger.
All right, Moo's got many nicknames.
Dickhead,
You know what I think another
asshole,
good one?
Fuckwit.
I think a good one would
Douchebag.
be Pokey.
Oh, now. I only poked you the one time.
No, you poked
Pokey.
Arbor a shitload. What do we do here? We keep it local.
Keep it cash. Tell the Fed boys to kiss our ass.
And don't shoot my dog, please.
Yes. Any 3-digit government agency needs to be disbanded and wiped off the freaking planet.
Yeah, man. PSA for the night. We tell the boys, don't run with scissors. We tell the girls, don't scissor with the runs. That'd be a really weird porn to watch.
What, you didn't watch Two Girls, One Cup back in the day?
Shut up, Moody. You're gonna make me freaking throw up. Shut up. I've never seen the video. I don't even.
Oh,
I
dude,
think
it was a
everybody's seen
great
that video, dude.
Nope. Never seen it.
Really?
I hear it all the time.
Let me pull it up.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's been pulled up, but I have never
I think
hit
there's
play.
a screenshot. That's the background of his phone.
See, the
I don't
downside
doubt
is, I think he's afraid he might be into it.
No.
He knows he is. He doesn't want to go off on us here.
Nope.
Uh,
I'm afraid I'm gonna freaking throw up.
It's pretty gross. So I'm going to start this off with a little quick story. I was actually cleaning the house today, so I'm like, oh man, the old lady's working. I'm not. I'm going to clean the house. So I did some upstairs, not much, and I made kids clean up a little bit. I went down to the basement and I did laundry. I did a bunch of stuff. I'm getting ready to vacuum. I bring the tank, like the bagless thing, upstairs to dump it out in the dumpster, and I'm going to bring the rest of it out here to blast it out with the air compressor, get it good and clean. But I'm dumping the thing out, and the neighbor lady is yelling at me, hey! And I'm like, what? And she's blah, 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 and I can't really understand her, and I'm like, what? And I start walking towards her, and then she starts flapping her arms like a bird. And I'm like, oh. So I take a hard left, and I head towards the garage. I grab my tennis racket and a towel, just if I had to throw it up in the air, because I didn't know. I couldn't understand if she had a bird, if she had a bat. Bats are faster than birds. They're kind of a bitch to get.
Oh no.
What?
I've gotten many of them.
Well, we're talking about by hand, not with a shotgun.
Not in your bush.
No, I've gotten them with window screens, 5-gallon pail lids.
Yeah, so I grab that stuff. I go over there, and she goes, I think it's gone. I go in the house. I look around. I bang curtains. I bang whatever,
the neighbor lady?
draperies, blankets and stuff. Because
Did you bang the neighbor lady too?
No.
No?
Just checking.
Do we need to ad-lib that special section? Anyway, no, it's gone. So I come back home. I leave the racket there. I'm leaving this on your fridge. Okay. Come back home. And I get done vacuuming some, but I had to come back outside, and I walk back over there to check on it. She goes, yeah, it's still in there. So I go and I look again. I can't find it. Come back home, finish in the basement, just vacuuming the basement and throwing some laundry in. Finally, I go back over again, and she goes, it's in there this time. It's right there on that table. I go in there, and I got the racket in my hand. I go in there and I'm shooing him towards whatever, and he's banging on the windows. He's bleeding all over at this point because he smashed his face into he's peckered the glass so fucking hard, he's bleeding. He's banging into all the windows. Finally, all the doors and windows are open, but it's like he's headed to that big French door in the back, and he decides at the last second to turn, and he goes over to the kitchen, and he gets close to that window, and he's banging on that window. It's like, dude, the next one over is wide open. Nope. Then he finally goes out into the garage. That garage door is open. He goes out into the garage. She's got a table lined up for the employee party on the far this side of the garage, and he lands towards the front of it by the garage door. So I marched straight towards him, and I yeeted his fucking ass out the door. Wow, dude, he went flying. He never hit the ground. He flew out, and she goes, "Oh, are you kidding me?" And I turn around, and she looks disgusted at me, and I'm like, "What?" And she goes, she looks so disheveled, like I just killed her fucking dog. And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "I thought you were just going to shoo him out." I'm like, "No."
I did shoo him out with a racket.
Yeah, I yeeted
a little bit extra boost in the ass.
I yeeted him halfway down their driveway before he started flapping his wings and took back off. She's like, and I'm like, "What did you think was going to happen? Perhaps you invited the wrong guy to get rid of this bird, because I'm going to either whack him or kill him." But anyway, it was pretty funny. But I turned around and she's like, I'm like, it was either that or a shotgun.
But you know the difference between you and that bird, though? He ran into a wall and actually broke his pecker. You ain't going to come anywhere close to that.
He was talking about hitting his pecker against the windshield. I'm like, so Ty at his Main Street house.
But
yep.
But it's just you guys know it. You're here enough to know it and see it. It's almost never a dull moment.
No.
It's always fucking something happening here. It's insane. Tomorrow's going to be hectic.
Yeah.
Old Bob is going to be sweating his ass off tomorrow working on cars. Thank God. I mean, I'll be here running around, but
I'm going to work on the Camaro in the morning, but I'm going to turn my AC on well before I go out there.
I'm jealous.
Like tonight?
Well, tonight we just have the fan going, which is helping out a lot.
I mean, tonight you're going to turn the AC on, so you're like a penguin marching in there tomorrow morning. A mighty big penguin.
Very big.
Mighty penguin.
You know, like the penguin that Billy Madison sees all the time?
What were some of the lines in that?
Okay.
Anyway, so all the topics we've talked about in the past, whatever episodes they were, I don't even remember anymore. But one of them was the how your family just leaves all your shit on the front yard when you die, so people can finger through it.
That was our first. No, that was one of the episodes last week.
That was, yeah. I think the last one. I don't know.
Okay.
No.
So
third.
The takeaway from that is, once again, stop buying a lot of shit that you can't do anything with. We're all bad at it. The three of us sitting here, we're bad at it. I'm
terrible.
Horrible. I mean, turn around. It's fucking bad behind me. I got a lot of junk that my kids are just going to toss out into the yard. I did have that conversation with Bianca, and I'm like, you see, well, it was the day of that auction across the street, and I said, you see all that, honey? Yeah. And I'm like, when I age out and I die, I don't want you to throw all my shit out on the front yard for strangers to go through. She goes, okay. And I'm like, everything I have...
Straight to the landfill.
Everything I have has some sort of value. It has value to me, whatever. Even, I mean, some of the stuff doesn't. Like that garbage can I can see from here. Any of the trash is trash.
Anything Chevy related
goes,
doesn't have any
I said,
value.
Okay. I said, it has meaning to me. I want you guys to take it.
Hold on. That Corvette is definitely scrap value.
That's the only Chevrolet item in this.
The engine might be
on
worth
this
something.
property.
The rest of it. Hold
But
on.
anyway,
you brought a Chevrolet. You saying that ain't worth anything?
Correct me if I'm...
I did not. I bought a Buick. Big difference.
Genital mortars.
Buick's an old man car.
Yeah. So, the takeaway... let me ask you a question. because I doubt you have. It's possible, but I doubt it. Have you ever seen a U-Haul being hauled by a hearse? You can't take it with you.
And I've never seen a banker put my money in, or put somebody's money in a casket either.
Right?
Well, hold on. They actually have done that before. There were them giant fucking pyramids in Egypt.
Current whatever era.
That's a conspiracy.
You've never seen a U-Haul getting hauled by a hearse with all your shit in it.
Well,
it's because your average hearse doesn't have enough power.
now,
There's Harley hearses. That don't count.
but
That's still not hauling your junk away.
I bet they would have to rent a U-Haul, big U-Haul, because Moody wouldn't fit in the hearse.
Funny guy.
Spit first and get a running start, maybe.
Funny guy. No, I want that Hindu Nissan hearse.
that thing
was
ridiculous.
baller.
That's a Kamala Harris hearse. She burns her Nissan.
Fuck that. That thing's probably fucking for rent on Alibaba.com or whatever.
I don't know. What was the other? Somebody requested from our previous episodes tools, next level tools. Actually, Swanson did.
/Dream Garage.
/Dream Garage / what's the next? What would we?
See.
Where should we cheap out? Where should we spend good money? I'll start that too. 2-post lift. Get the one with the overhead bracket, not the floor.
See if you can get an old commercial unit, because I think some of the residential units don't go as high.
If I had it to do over again, I'd buy a brand new one, and it would be a 12,000, 15,000, whatever pound 2-post lift. If I had to do over again.
But a
Dream
commercial
Garage
style or a residential style? Because the commercial ones, I think, lift a little bit higher.
Let me ask you a little question on that.
If I'm going to go big, I'm going to go big.
Why would you buy that heavy of a lift?
I don't feel...
My one-ton dually weighs 7,000 pounds.
Mine's 7,500.
I'll never put it on my lift. I have a
Scaled
9,000 pound lift, and I'll never put that much on that lift.
I've scaled my pickup. It is 7,500 pounds. How is yours only 7? I'm
not sitting in it. You are.
No. I was on the cat scale, and I got out of the truck to weigh it.
Well, here's an iron. Here's aluminum head, isn't it?
No.
No? I don't know.
I
know what it is.
The head gasket is really thin on his.
I have 1.3 liters less engine.
Jackpot. He's got less cubic inches.
Yeah. It's all about that displacement, right, Jeremy?
Okay. Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that, buddy. Anytime you want to hook them.
This whole cubic debate.
Where would you spend your money on the next level garage or the tools? Where would you try to cheap out on?
Don't cheap out on safety equipment. Okay, Ty, would you get a 2-post or a 4-post?
I need a 2-post because I need the wheels off the ground. I've been looking at 4-posts just to stack cars up, but I'm trying not to do that because I just don't want to. I don't have enough room for that shit. I have a big fucking garage and I don't have enough room for it. Maybe one of these days I'm going to take like a video of the garage. I'll put Meyer bags or something on all the license plate and walk around the shop and do a whole thing and put it on Instagram for Joe Blow to look at.
Move all your vehicles out?
Sorry.
Oh, and move all your vehicles out for it? Or are you going to pack them all in like you normally do during the winter?
He rents storage place at a storage building outside of town.
I probably should move them out if I'm going to do a video like that. Anyway, 2-post lift. I would go big, go brand name. Don't cheap out. Ben Pack, something brand name.
One of our friends was looking at something that you should definitely not get, a 1-post lift.
Oh, I know. I think I talked to him about that.
Oh, yeah. And
that's one of those things you don't want to get underneath the car. Put it up in the air. I wouldn't walk underneath it.
A 1-post?
I've done it many a times.
They
used to have the ones that are concreted into the floor back in the old days that are air over hydraulic.
Yeah.
My vehicles have been up on many of those. Many older shops have them.
But his was like a scissor.
Oh, yeah, fuck that.
His was a portable.
Yeah, no.
That's what we're talking about. What else? Definitely 2-post lift. Just go big.
So
Go
we're
ahead.
doing right now. Don't cheap out on what we wouldn't cheap out on.
Yeah, let's go
Well, hold
bigger.
on. If you can't go up for a 2-post, a pit wouldn't be too bad.
I don't agree. I disagree with that.
I don't mind the idea because I grew up with one.
I've seen many pits put in pole barns, and then within 5 to 6 years filled in because they don't fucking use it.
They don't use it, and they get muddy, full of water. You can't just sweep them out. You got to take a shovel down there. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
And a shop vac or whatever. And
Buzzy had one at his old barn that burned to the ground.
he's got one currently.
Yes, he's got one now. The one before had a small water problem. Not bad. This one is horrible.
Then I've also heard a pit would not be good around you two for a simple fact is drunken walking. We have a buddy of ours that fell into his.
I've seen Buzzy fall into his old one. Excuse me. I've seen Buzzy fall into his old one. He had a beer in his hand. I remember he fell, scraped his leg from here to here, ripped it wide
Do you
open.
not have covers?
He fell all the way down. He never spilled his beer.
Our 10-foot tall buddy there, Mike, he fell into his.
Howard City, Mike?
No. Gaylord Mike.
Oh, okay, really? Yeah.
Over.
He did have a pit.
He fell into it drunkenly. Fucked him all up.
Well,
He broke some ribs and freaking broke his
I
arm
vaguely
and
remember that.
smashed his face.
I don't know how, dude. He could have stepped into it.
Well, true.
Fucking guy.
Anyway.
Dude, when we say he's tall, it's crazy. He'd have to duck to go in my garage.
So we're still
Fuck
talking
you,
about don't
Rico.
cheap out on tools.
Well, I gotta squeeze my head together.
So we're still talking about don't cheap out on tools.
Yes.
Don't cheap out
Okay.
on safety. Harbor
Mine-
Freight jack stands are a great deal, but
Yeah,
they
fuck
had
that.
that
Well, you know what?
recall.
So their problems have passed. They've gotten all the recalls done, so we think. But even then, I don't know if I would purchase a set right now. Even though that they've fixed their issue, they have a 12-ton set right now on sale. That I'd probably put half of that on.
If that.
What I wouldn't cheap out on, electrical test equipment.
Really?
Well,
Voltmeter, test light.
a basic Harbor Freight multimeter
They were giving them away.
is perfectly fine for basic diagnostic stuff. Now, if you're trying to be precise, especially with all the digital crap nowadays, then yeah, you probably want like a Fluke or a Snap-on if you want to pay 4 times the price for the same tool.
Right. The Fluke brand is a really good.
Yes, very much so.
They've got some stuff that has had issues. You got a tester that had some issues with it, but what
It was a
it?
screen issue.
Yeah.
The contacts were coming loose, but I put them back and it's fine.
Okay.
I actually looked into. Fluke has one with a detachable screen, so you can connect the leads and like take the screen with you, so you can do like ignition testing remotely.
You've got a really cool like powered thing where it can test from a distance or whatever,
Oh.
whatever it was.
Power probe.
Power wire
His is-
tracing and
yeah, wire tracing.
I have one for testing network cables and coax cables.
I say I have
Anyway.
a power probe that I can back power stuff. I have my voltmeter. My voltmeter I can also Bluetooth to my phone, so where I can read the display off my phone while it's hooked on. You know, like the one you were saying,
Like
you can
Fluke,
remove the
but probably
display,
for less.
but not much. A Fluke is relatively similar in price to a Snap-on.
I'd rather have Fluke. We were talking about the punches before. I totally forgot. I listened to our old podcast, and I was going to run into Menards. We were at Menards yesterday, and I totally flaked. I was going to look, and I'm like, I'm forgetting something. We're walking around, and I'm like, I got nothing, so we got out of there. Anyway,
Another thing, don't cheap out on ratchets. I went over that in the Shop Essentials. Don't cheap out on a fucking ratchet.
Did you ever check out the?
84 tooth is what mine are.
84?
84 tooth XL.
I'm tempted to buy a set of those 120 just to try them out, but they ain't cheap.
man, I've got more than I need. I got all the
we know.
ratchets. Yeah, I barely got enough tape
got-
measures.
4 toolboxes full of tools.
Plus one in the trailer.
Oh yeah, forgot about the one with the trailer.
I got one in the fucking trailer sitting there. I don't ever see. I haven't seen my trailer in a while. What else not to cheap out on? Shop equipment like the blast cabinet. I got a good one. I
But
don't
most
use it
people
enough.
don't
I
need
love
a
it,
blast
but I don't-
cabinet.
But this
But
is
if
the
you do-
dream shop.
Yeah. I've looked into parts washers.
I'll go right around the wall. I got a really sweet drill press, but I got it used, but it was never actually used. I bought it for $100, and the guy's like, my in-laws bought it for me. I've never used it. But then I got the shop blast cabinet, shelving units. I don't know if you got to go high on shelving units.
I bought the Menards plastic ones, and for most stuff, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, you're not gonna put a crazy amount of weight on them.
They say the shelves are good for like 200 pounds, but I put 100 pounds worth of, what are they? The wood pellets for the smoker
Yep.
on each shelf, and they are bowed like crazy. So it says 240. It ain't.
Down my walls, simple shelving unit there. What else have I got? I've got the toolbox, the electrical toolbox. I have a 56-inch wide stainless toolbox. That thing is worth its weight in gold to me because it saves me so much space everywhere else. So all the electrical, whatever it is, the solderless connectors, zip ties, light bulbs, LEDs, tools. I have the top drawer is full of electrical stuff. I don't have any testers in there. You know what? I don't have any fucking testers. I do have a regular 12-volt test light, but the box tester, that's in the other toolbox.
Bench grinder.
Bench grinder. I have a 1-horse bench grinder.
I don't have a grinder.
Really?
Angle.
I have an angle grinder, but I don't have a bench grinder.
Is that something you'd want?
Nope.
Really?
Bench vise for sure. What
Yes.
about a bench vise?
Yes.
I have a 6-inch Wilton or Milton,
Wilton,
whatever.
W. I like my bench vise. It's not great. It was a cheap brand. It was a cheapo from C&W down here. Air compressor. You can go cheap on an air compressor to get you by. I didn't.
And we've talked about it. Nobody needs a. I mean, let me rephrase it. No, not that nobody needs a big air compressor, but if it doesn't suit your needs to have that, you don't need to spend the money on it.
Yeah, if you're not doing a bunch of air tools.
If you're
When I
not.
bought it, the power tools, the battery power tools were just kind of coming on the market.
Oh, and they weren't near as good as they are now when you bought your air compressor.
So I did everything with an airline.
Yep. I still my air tools are still stronger than my battery tools.
Ideal garage, and Jeremy probably doesn't agree, but a TV.
I was against it. I was against it for the longest time. But then I got a TV for free.
Put it up.
It
and
sat
now
up
you use it all the time.
Well, yeah, I actually do. I put it up in the bar, and I was tripping over it. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm waiting for another TV to die so I can just put it in there. Finally, I got sick of tripping over it. Then I hung that thing up there. And I don't use it much for the TV aspect of it, but I put it on Amazon Music or Pandora or Spotify or whatever, turn it on, and I let it ride. That way I got music in the background because I don't want to watch TV all day. I don't have a shop to watch TV in.
I'm surprised we
bar
don't
for that.
have Meekum Auctions up there right now.
They have a live.
I think I saw a notification about it earlier.
I'm not gonna do it while we're doing this.
And
About muted.
I like my cabinets. That's high end. Do I need high end cabinets? No.
Didn't you get those on RepoCast?
No. Costco, New Age brand.
But okay, now I don't really have much of anything else to expand on expensive.
If you had Ty's
$5.
money, what would you get for your barn?
If I had Ty's money,
Ty's dad's money.
I told you we got a.
I wasn't saying anything.
I'm just jabbing.
I don't know.
If cost wasn't an
See,
issue.
what I would want and what I would get would probably still be two different things. Because I'm still cheap. I'm frugal. That I want to try and get the most bang for my buck.
For the
But I still
listeners,
wanna get
want them
something decent.
To think about this for a minute. When he says cheap, put your thumbs in your armpits and start flapping your wings. ladies and gentlemen.
And go cheap, 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 cheap.
Yeah,
While you're
but
flapping
that's
them.
all three of us here.
Yeah, well,
And it is.
yeah. I hate spending money on stupid shit like gas because some asshole decided to jack the price up. For
Yeah,
no
but
fucking-
that's
You
why,
voted for him, buddy.
That's
Nope.
why you and I have diesels that are much better on fuel.
Jason's Cruise gets 38. He finally started driving like I drive. He goes, I went all tie with my car this week. I want
Hold
to try
on.
it out.
I talked to him earlier. When he worked with you, he said he burned about a tank and a quarter a week.
Yep.
Now he burns half a tank a week.
Because he's
Much shorter drive.
no, it's not. He's driving. He's told me today. He goes, I'm trying to drive like you. I set the cruise at 56. And he goes, I can't believe the difference. He goes, I only went through half a tank in a week.
Dude,
I thought he was
if you
working a lot closer to
fuckers
home.
do that in front of me on the expressway, I am going to freaking pit maneuver you fuckers.
I guess it's an Alto.
Alto. Ew.
I thought until today. I was today years old when I found out it wasn't where I thought it was the first time. It's an Alto. Anyway, back to shop essentials. Money spent, money saved. Where?
I think it's okay for the basic person to cheap out on an automotive scanner.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to get more into that, then by all means look into a better one. But for just pulling codes, get a cheap Amazon special.
Yep. Because it's going to throw the same code at you.
20,
But,
30
but
bucks.
until you have a problem you can't figure out, you're going to have to go spend the 40, 80 bucks for some other guy to run his Snap-on or whatever. What are some? I don't know. There's lots of other brands now. For the longest time, Snap-on was the only one that really.
I
really
wouldn't
do
trust any of the like live data on those cheap Amazon scanners. But for pulling codes, that cheapo is perfectly fine.
it. Right. I agree with you.
Boroscope,
I bought one. I gave you one.
you have one over there.
I do. I never really use it. I
What
don't
do
think
we
I've
use
ever
that
really.
for?
Huh?
We used it for something recently.
Picking my nose, I guess.
There it is.
You got a cavity, bro. Looking.
Another thing I wouldn't cheap out on
Snap on.
is precision measuring tools.
Yeah.
Micrometers, dial indicators,
For my shop,
For
I
dial
just buy
calipers.
For most people, they don't need to measure that accurately. But for you, then yeah, I could see that.
If you're an engine builder, yes. If you're just my shop, which is still a decent, I feel like it's a decent shop, but I have the cheap caliper, and I will admit I use the calipers more than I have 3 of them now. I use them way more than I ever thought I would.
Everything in the
Okay.
shop is measured in increments of 2.5 inches.
And that's only if you get them excited first.
Yeah, that's after Viagra.
But measuring crank journals, micrometer. I wouldn't want to measure a crank journal with a caliper. You don't get precise enough. You don't get
The cheap ones that I buy, no, you're not going to get precise.
well. I mean, I
Do the same thing, same check multiple times and get multiple different answers.
I wouldn't cheap out on precision measuring tools.
Yeah, I can see that. I thought about getting gauge blocks at one point, but then realized that I have no use for it. A welder?
Right.
A welder's not bad for a home shop.
Don't cheap out on torque wrenches.
Oh, yeah.
The hell was that?
Some
There's the exhaust on a car.
But then he
Sounded
slammed
like
on the brake.
plastic.
Anyway, I think
But
he
anyway,
slammed
I
on
guess
the
that's stuff that I wouldn't cheap out on.
brake.
Shit I would cheap out on? Pliers, screwdrivers,
Yeah.
punches, hammers.
Well,
Would you really cheap out
people
on a
think, well,
punch?
I need Snap-on. One Snap-on screwdriver, call it the standard, whatever, 10-inch long, flat screwdriver. How much is one of them off truck?
$55.
You know how many of those I can buy an off-brand or El Cheapo?
You can probably buy
Long hang.
5 or
Brilliant.
6 35 to 40 piece screwdriver sets for $55.
Right.
I mean, even a Craftsman one, you can buy at least 2 or 3 nice sets for $55.
Cheaping out on paper towel.
Why buy
Rags.
a nice paper towel?
Stop throwing rags in the trash. Stop throwing your old clothes in the trash.
Cut up
Your old
clothes.
socks, wash them, use them in the shop. Once they get disgusting, then throw them away.
What if they're still stiff when they come out of the washing machine?
Then you ain't getting laid enough.
Well, that's
Wait.
not the point, but
You need to talk to your kid. I don't know where mine goes,
Why is
but it ain't
this?
in socks.
Why is this stock stuck to the side of the dryer?
The guy that moved to Florida, no names, right? The guy that moved to Florida when their son was young, they said he was going through the old washcloths pretty bad.
nice.
So, oh my God, did you get that picture I sent this week of us in the garage? It was in a group.
Oh,
When you were sweating your ass off, when he finally responded, I almost said, "Yeah, you remember that time that Hendrix just watched us load a trailer?" What
Yeah.
else have I got in the shop, man? I got my
Fan.
regular toolbox. I didn't spend a lot of money on my regular toolbox. It's not great. It more than gets the job done. It's another stainless one from Sam's Club. The electrical one and that other one are both from Sam's Club. They're a little different.
Yeah, but we hit pretty good on tool storage the last time. You don't have to have a high dollar toolbox to store your tools. It literally holds your tools, or it holds your electrical connectors and zip ties and all that stuff.
In your case, at work, I think you need what you have.
your
I'm not going to
drawers-
say I don't, because my toolbox capacity for weight is 16,000 pounds. I bet I'm every bit of 3/4 of that right now in it. I bet that toolbox weighs upwards of 12,000 pounds.
Take the
What about
lead
when you're
bricks
not
out.
standing on it?
Then it weighs 11,999.
Yeah. Like, just because I can't think of anything like the high end
Fan.
or cheap. Yes, fan.
If you have the ceiling height, ceiling fan. Especially if you can afford one of them big ass fans, because those things move air.
They do. I couldn't, but for a quick story.
Yeah, but okay.
We built this shop, and I didn't have a ceiling fan in it.
It got stuffy.
But let me
Yeah.
ask you another question. You built this shop from the ground up, right?
Yep.
Why didn't you put an exhaust fan in here
It's still up for debate.
to suck the hot air out?
Well, I want two.
One for
where?
inlet, one for
I
outlet?
want one for the workspace. I want one for the attic. Because the attic today would have, I bet, dude, I should have took a shot of it. Because I got those temp guns. We'll talk about those in a minute. Those temp guns, I should have shot the underside of the roof. Because it's bare steel, not bare steel, but there's no insulation, there's nothing, it's just steel
Yeah.
up there. I should have shot that today. Maybe I will tomorrow. But it gets like 140 on the underside of that steel. Exhaust that out, cool that space of attic.
It'll help cool.
It'll
this.
help cool this. If it gets so hot in here, but it's going to pull more hot air from the outside. Normally, my garage
Well, no.
today, all day today, my garage was cooler. I never opened the door. I opened the door long enough to get side by side out to go to the gym this morning, and I never opened it again till tonight.
See, if you were allowed to use power, then you could crack the doors and turn on the fan overnight, pull
Yes.
all that cool night air in, and purge all that hot air overnight if you were allowed to use electricity. And then in the morning, shut your doors and turn the fan off. But
I like the idea. Yes, I like the idea.
or splurge and get AC.
I really want
I saw-
want like the big high end mini splits. Nick bought a used one and he got a really good deal on a 3-head mini split that's going to freeze him out in his new pole barn.
I saw
Jealous, super jealous.
a very redneck version where they took the reefer unit off the front of a old semi-trailer
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
attached it to the side of their shop and set it to like freezer conditions so it just dumped cold air in.
It will
That's
freeze
what
you
we
out.
did on our, we have a meat processing, that farm that I help with. The guy has a meat processing building out back, and that's what we did. But he wired it in to run off the electric side of it, so he didn't have to put diesel fuel in the Kubota engine or Yanmar, whatever one's in that. But he has it run off the
If it's
electric
set up for
side of
shore
it.
power, yeah,
So he just does it
That'll-
that way.
that'll work. And that you can probably find those for less than a mini split.
I don't want one of those. I'd rather have a mini split.
Why? You put it on the backside, you'll never see it. That's your neighbor's problem.
I should. Then I'd run diesel to it. It goes into
Late at
defrost.
night.
Screaming. What else we got?
Lighting.
Yeah.
Excessive. We touched on lighting. Personally, I'm all for excessive LED lighting.
Yeah.
I don't like how dim your shop is, but
Well, when the doors are shut and all 6 are lit, it's pretty bright.
it is.
I only run those center 2s because it's going to be way cheaper than running all 6. If I ran the 4, in my case, you're only going to get the back 2 anyway with the doors open. Anyway,
Well, yours are also fluorescent. I'd say do LED if you can.
I got to get up there. I'm going to have to rent a scissor lift because I'm... Yeah.
Capital equipment
I
has the.
kind of planned on it at some point, but I'm going to have to be up there. I don't know how long it's going to take me to convert every one of them. And then I got to buy all the LED replacement. What else have I got?
How about you let me know ahead of time?
Okay.
Do you have a use for one too?
No.
Well,
No,
you
I
converted
don't.
them.
But I have one.
A scissor lift?
Not necessarily a scissor lift. I have an arm lift.
A boom lift?
Portable trailer style.
Really?
Genie. 35-foot lift. 34-foot.
Over there at the farm?
Nope. Brother-in-law has one. I can use it anytime I want. I've told you this. We've had this discussion many a times.
He
I
was
think you were
drunk.
just 27 beers in.
He doesn't drink beer. He's watching his figure.
Grow and grow and grow. Dude, what other power tools? Big tools, big money, cheap stuff. What are we cheaping out on?
Oh, heat. You gotta heat your garage.
I got a shitty heater here. I wish I had a better heater.
That
Yes. Spend the money on it
salamander,
first.
when you let it go for a while, it can get that pretty toasty.
Yeah,
Well,
but the fumes freaking kills them.
Yeah, dude, it's not worth it. I do need a heater. I'm having a hard time spending the money on it. We'll talk about that later as to why. You probably already know.
Oh, we know.
Cheap, 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 cheap.
That ain't it. I don't know. A bar. You have to have a
A
safe
fridge.
space.
A fridge, at least.
Shut up.
He is a snowflake.
Shut up about your freaking safe space.
Well,
Suck it the
Ty-
fuck
Ty-
up.
as far as your governor goes, she wants you to make sure you don't misplace your fucking pronouns.
No, not misplaced, but
Label.
I don't know.
I'll misplace my pronouns. And then go down in a fucking Ocean Gate sub.
That's where
Alright.
I left all my fucks to give.
Anyway, place to keep your beer cold, your snacks, whatever.
Your drink of choice.
Big TV kind of goes with the stereo. I happen to be able to hook mine up to the stereo, and it works really well. You don't, Jeremy don't give a shit about the stereo side of it.
Well, he's got stereos in his ears.
Touche.
He's got voices talking to him all day too.
If you're into bikes,
That's literally what I said that one time. Is I have enough voices in my head talking back and forth and demons and whatever that I don't need to listen to anything else.
when
They
they're
keep
not
me
talking,
busy.
He's got his.
The other one.
Yeah. Okay, so I will. This is where I'd like to end it for my portion of it. Then I'm going to hand it over to you guys in that section. But my favorite thing I think I bought that I get way more use out of than I ever thought I would, and it was one of those purchases that once I got it, I was like,
That
"Son
dildo
of a
can opener.
Son of a bitch! I should have had this years ago." I work on a lot more bikes than I ever thought I would, but that motorcycle lift is the shit. I use it for tons of stuff. We pulled the back window out of that side-by-side, jacked that thing up, and tinted it on that. I pulled that toolbox out. We pulled that toolbox out of my trailer and used it. I use it for a ton of bikes. As far as things with handlebars here, what do I got? I got
5
7.
scooters, quad, motorcycle.
So I got 5 scooters,
Yep.
2 quads,
Oh,
and that
two
bike.
quads. Yep, two quads.
Because Bianca's like.
I forgot about
So
Bianca's
as far as
quad.
handlebars go and toys, I got 8 things here, plus the one that Buzzies.
And plus a set of
but just
handlebars he
here I
has
have-
fuck strap around his waist for his boyfriend.
Well, it's a Harley thing, really.
You seem like a Harley rider.
Yeah.
Yes.
But 8 things here with handlebars on it. So they all fit, everything but the big quad fits on that thing. Bianca's little quad fits on it beautifully. It's a 80 Raptor, but a 90 wood, a 110 wood. The tires just sit on the rails. Cheap Harbor Freight motorcycle lift. I'd like to get a better one. So my buddy Rich in town he went out and bought a handful of really nice ones. But they're like $1,500 a piece.
Like air over hydraulic.
Yep. They're super nice. But he's
So you want foot controls instead of sitting there pumping it.
But he's working on bikes
But
that
he's
are
so good at pumping it.
that are way more beautiful than more expensive than ones one of his bikes costs more than all mine put together. We're talking 40s, 30s, 40s Harleys. And they're mint. Jockey
No.
shift. Oh man, I don't know if I could ever ride a jockey. Anyway,
Hold on.
But
Jockey
that's my-
shift? What is jockey shift?
That's your right hand freaking shifter right
when
here.
you shift,
Oh.
you shift with your left hand.
It's a big lever shifter done
Left
by
hand.
hand.
He's saying right.
You got a foot clutch and it's a left-handed shifter.
Oh
Your
yeah,
your right hand never leaves the throttle, just like, but it's
yeah, you're right.
anyway. That's where I'm going to end mine is a motorcycle lift.
I'd pitch in a chemical storage cabinet because you're gonna accrue
I
a
got one
lot
of
of
those.
chemicals.
I got 2 of those.
Yeah, you accrue a lot of chemicals over time.
I didn't think about that.
But
You don't need to spend a lot of money on it.
You don't. You can
And
cheap out.
but if you want to keep them warm, there's a simple solution. You find an old fridge
That doesn't work.
that doesn't work or whatever, get one for free, and you put a heating lamp in it with a temperature control
Switch.
power. So you can set it, say, kick off at 50. Once it gets down to 40 degrees,
40.
kicks on in the wintertime. So it keeps it thaw. Anyway, that's a whole other story. If somebody wants to know, they can contact us.
Or yeah,
You guys go.
it's not that complicated of a thing.
What are we discussing?
We got to get over this topic so
Whoa.
we can move on to the next one.
What would you want in your ideal shop that you could see yourself spending money on realistically?
Lifting device, whether it be a cherry picker, a gantry, overhead crane, A-frame setup, chain fall, something to lift.
Forklift. If you can buy it, get a forklift.
If I could afford a forklift, I would.
I'm surprised you don't know people with a forklift.
I do. That's all I got.
But,
My pop machine
you know,
upstairs. Yeah.
Lifting heavy stuff in and out of a truck, an engine, a transmission, lifting an engine out of the bed of a truck.
A vending machine.
Yeah, a vending machine
Yeah, I got a vending machine.
that serves absolutely no purpose except for taking up square footage in a
I
garage.
need to get back to working on it.
Or get rid of it.
But
Get some
again,
money back out of
a
it.
lifting device. It can be even just your basic folding cherry picker, but that thing will lift a whole lot more than I can lift.
Yeah.
So 20 pounds.
Maybe.
Dude, you need a lift in your shop at some point soon.
He has that A-frame outside.
I got the. Well, he's talking actual car
Too
lift.
close.
Oh,
And that's
Would
what
I
I'm
love to
gonna-
purchase one? Yes. Is it feasible for me right now? No.
There's
Are you
there's
done?
going to be a will and a way. So
Yep, there is. And I already cathedral the ceiling. I already have my footings poured with my re-rod, everything in it. I just have to get it.
what about you, man? You have 2 bikes. You can get rid of.
I know. 2
are
bikes
you doing?
I need to get rid of. I need to finish working on the one. My garage is getting a little cramped now.
Again.
You gonna get rid of the one bike that you ride because you don't ride it anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a really sweet ride.
I love the bike. It's a great bike, but my knee hurts when I get off, and I never know how long my day is going to go. I don't want to work 14 hours and then have to ride home.
Okay, fair enough.
It's, at this point in my life, I love the bike. I love it to death. It's just not something I'm big into.
Well, we're
for now.
shifting gears into motorcycles.
Well, let's finish the shop thing. If I can get that vending machine working, The plan was to put the little shooters in there
And ammo.
and ammo and no, not ammo, magazines.
I mean, all the above.
But again, that's something I have to sit down and actually work with, which is a little hard to do when I'm running AC, just to keep it livable out there.
Yeah.
Because I'm quite a bit larger than both of you guys, and I'm sweating like a whore in church when it's 60 degrees out.
I'm surprised that we even got to sit down tonight. I even told Hendricks before he left, I'm like, this might not happen. By the time Jeremy gets here, he's going to be worn the fuck out, and Moo's going to be sweating so bad. I hope he took a shower. But you did. I seen when you got out.
I did, but again,
You're sweaty already.
the fan over there is helping.
It is. I don't know if it'd even be bearable if it wasn't for that fan. So, back to the fan thing. Yes, buy some fans. Buy an old squirrel cage like that thing.
So I have an 18-inch wall-mounted fan I got from Menards, and 18-inch.
Yeah, but the stand one you got moves.
I have a stand one. That's great. But that 18-inch wall mount, I put right above the AC unit, so it kicks cold air out, and then it pushes it into the rest of the garage. And then what I did was last summer, I set that 30-inch to blow across the front of the garage door to help circulate all the air.
It seems to work and I'm happy that we insulated your garage. I'm happy that you insulated the garage door. I think it's already paid for itself.
It probably has. I'm using a lot less propane to heat it. I think I only went through a tank last year.
We got to get over and work on his shop.
We gotta get yours insulated so you can heat
He needs to get the ceiling paneled. What are you going to panel that with?
1-inch foil-sided styrofoam.
Are you ever going to move out of that house?
I don't ever plan on it.
And shit or get off the pot. Let's put steel up like this and blow in insulation.
Blow. Blowing insulation sucks, but
What are you talking about?
dude, it was filthy for everybody involved. That job sucked. And okay, wouldn't you agree? It was a good thing we did it in the fall, so it wasn't 180 degrees up there while you're crawling
Yes,
around.
and I still sweat my ass off in that thing.
I got most steel to do with ceiling.
Foam just never stays put. It's not a bad insulator. It keeps the heat down,
It's
but it
cheap.
doesn't insulate that great.
If you get the right sale, blown insulation's pretty cheap too.
And I'm not saying it's not, but
Getting the blower is the problem.
Yeah.
That was a pain in the ass.
Fighting
I also have to
tooth and
look
nail
into.
get the damn thing.
I have to be able to hold the weight of the insulation up. My rafters are 4 foot on center on my pole barn.
Yeah. My steel's only screwed every 4 foot.
And again, if I put the steel up there, okay, it won't be a problem. But if I did the styrofoam the styroboard, foil-sided 1-inch thick styroboard, there ain't that much weight. It's held up by nails.
What's the R value of that?
11.
That's not too dissimilar than the 19 I have.
I bet yours is.
Well, your standard 4-inch fiberglass bat is either R11 or R13.
That's wall. I put R30 in that one. Most of that in the bar is R38.
And here's where it gets me, or will get you, whatever, is my walls. My walls are R27.
How?
In my pole barn,
Are they 2x6s?
you got 6x6 posts or 4x6 posts.
Yeah.
So they're 6-inch thick, and I did 6-inch thick fiberglass bats. All the ones that I bought free after rebate or whatever at Menards on Black Friday. I bought them, I don't know, 8 bales of them that one year. So there's 24 rolls in each bale, and I bought 8 bales.
I guess I don't remember what my walls are. I guess I thought they were 19s, but
But this is our 27, says it right on it.
doesn't matter. You can stick your hand by my outlets here, and you can still feel a little bit of cold air coming through in the wintertime. Anyway, insulate the shit out of it. Spin it up front, save it.
Cool it. Trust me, you're gonna want that cooling. Okay,
Well,
you might
like we
haw
did
about
tomorrow.
the price
Tomorrow's
of
going to
it.
be different because
You might hem and haw about the price of putting AC in, But once it's running, oh, it is glorious.
Right.
Yeah, but also you have to take time from the AC room and grab the grease gun and go grease the fucking electrical meter.
Yep.
No. Mine stays in second gear.
What I saved when putting insulation in, I spend on earplugs.
Well, you guys have anything else for shop essentials?
No, I think we got to shift gears.
Well, not
Yeah.
essentials, but needs. Good to go.
I think
Save
we're
where
good.
you can, because you're gonna spend it somewhere else.
You want to do outro?
Yeah, man. Once again, we are the SmashCast Bros. I'm Ty.
I'm Moo.
And I'm Trigger.
So we're gonna exit stage left for a second. We're all gonna probably pee, smoke, drink, whatever for a minute. We'll come back with something else in a minute. That being said, here's to those.
Who wishes well, all the rest can go to
fuck
hell.
themselves. Oh, go to hell.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
that's right. Okay, we out.
All right.